You're watching SBA Today. With all the latest news, stories, and advice, here are your hosts, Paul Long and Tonya Mazurek.
Good morning. We are live from the Gisa Credit Union and Midwest Regional Bank Studios. This is SBA Today for the week of December 2nd. As always, I'm Paul, and I'm joined here by my lovely co-host, Tonya. Tonya, good morning.
Oh my goodness, I always love your intro. It's awesome, man. All right. Hey, Paul, good morning to you, and good morning, everyone. So today, what we're going to talk about is lessons learned in mergers and acquisitions from a borrower and lender perspective. Possibly concentrating more so on lender perspective because, that's who we are, and that's our audience. But anyway, well, take it away there, Paul.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the borrower perspective. Thanks to Business Aficionado magazine for giving us this topic. From a borrower perspective, the number one thing is saying there is you're buying people, not just a business. And I thought that was a very true, and I think we often forget that too when you're buying. From the lender perspective, which we'll get into later, obviously. The people, the management team, that's critically important. But I wonder how much the borrower thinks of that as well, because that's...
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, don't you see that oftentimes when we've got the borrowers come in and all they're looking at is the bottom line. They're looking at the numbers. They're looking at
cash flow.
Exactly. That's all they're looking at oftentimes. But I think the target that they're missing is they're not looking at the people. They're not looking at, how am I going to come in and actually take this team of people and move them forward in the direction that I'd like to go versus, or they come in just really quick, right? And it's kind of like a new manager, even with, let's say a business in general, or let's say banking, a new manager comes in before going in and actually seeing how people work together. They go in and start making changes. They go in and saying, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it that way. And they lose people. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of borrowers do the same daggum thing.
Or you come in and you know what? I'm going to replace them with all my people. Yeah. There goes your knowledge, right?
Exactly.
That's
all
scary.
The knowledge. I think that's a big one. So I think borrowers out there, they need to be looking at the people that they're bringing on or the people that they're, I guess, buying into, because that's kind of what they're doing. They're buying into them. And then they have to actually have those people buy into them as the new owner in the new direction. So anyway,
new vision,
pretty cool.
New everything.
Yeah.
Number 2, due diligence is everything. Or I like to say, duh. Of course it is. And it really is everything. And for, just looking at the numbers, that's a good enough return, and calling it good and having us do the rest of the due diligence makes me scared a little bit from that perspective if I see that. So
how many times have you seen that? How many times have you seen that? Right? So they come in and they're like, oh my gosh, you start looking in and you're like, potentially oftentimes they'll go with the seller discretionary or something like that. So say they're using a business or something, and they're coming in, they're like, but they've got all this stuff that they're doing on the outside. And they'll say, but are they? And but does that really fit?
Go get your shovel and start digging.
Exactly. And both sellers and buyers, right? We've got egos involved. We've always got egos involved in everything that we do. And so the sellers, it's kind of like when we buy a personal house, we sell our house, right? I love my house. I've built it the way I want it. It's worth it. It's amazing. And yet it's only worth what somebody's going to come in and buy it. And they're looking at it from their own perspective. Same thing when you're buying a business, right?
Yep.
But what are some of the things that you would think so?
Well, one of the things that you just mentioned was talking about ego. Mm. Oh my God. And the biggest one that I hear and see is, well, I have an MBA.
Oh.
I don't give two if you have an MBA.
Madison, he said
you can beat that one.
We're live.
It's important. It's important, but remember, there's street smarts and book smarts, right? And so do you have a mix of both? That's a key on there.
I like that, Paul. That's a really good point. Street smarts and the common sense, right? The street
Absolutely.
smarts and the book, because people hide behind the book smarts all the time. And yet they're
Yep.
going into a business that takes the street smarts of that business and those people. And then they're not really putting two and two together that they need both.
I think this would be interesting. Let's put Bill Gates
Oh.
and have him run a teriyaki restaurant. Like,
Yeah, no.
I mean, business is business, but
Right.
how many, like, it's totally different, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's different. So another one on the borrower perspective is time kills deals. And man, do I hear that from a lot of my broker partners. And it's very true. Wow. I know one of my sales team members is working on a deal since June or July of this year. And it's just keeps going on. And I'm so tired of hearing about the deal. It's either just like take it out back and shoot it or find a new buyer or something. I don't know, but just do something with it.
Well, and I get into the back and forth game, the negotiations, oh, I'm going to really push for this. And so oftentimes what they'll do is they'll take so much time, right? Thinking that they're going to get that tiniest little bit back. And then in fact, instead, they move it so far down the line that they lose the deal, right? I mean, because it's the ego. The ego gets involved. Ego gets involved. And it's like, oh, I'm going to win this little bitty, whatever it is that they're fighting over, right? Or they're arguing amongst themselves, right?
Yep.
I'm going to win that. But what they don't realize is in winning that, potentially, you've lost so much more. I mean, isn't that like common in general across the board with so many things? That's just human nature, I think, in general. But if you're looking to do a mergers and acquisition, I think recognize that there's time involved in this, and each minute that you spend, if you're looking at the lenders, you're not getting us our information, right? Every moment that you spend has the ability to push it out down the line, potentially create a major problem for you, and or you might not even win it to begin with. So yeah,
it's true.
Anyway,
it's true.
Yeah,
let's dive in. Let's dive into lender perspective.
My favorite part.
This is good stuff, right? So one of the first and I put as number one because I wrote it down because it truly is the thing. How your client treats you at the beginning of the process is the best they'll ever be. So if they are a real, whatever word I'd like to add in, it's only going to be worse down the road. It's crazy. And there's so many times I've told this to my team as well. And they're like, yeah, well, he's stressed. Yeah. Wait until I'm trying to foreclose. Like, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, so my team, I'm with you. My team is very familiar with me in saying the same thing. They'll come to me and they'll have some issue or whatever with one of the borrowers. And it's really early in the beginning. And they're either pushed back with what we need, right? And they've got pushback with what we need. They won't get it. They argue. They, are attempting to negotiate unnegotiable items with us, right? It's like, that is not
like a personal guarantee.
Exactly. And it's like, or they get really angry or irritable or, excuse my language, kind of like pissy with the lenders. And I'm like, that's exactly what I tell them. I was like, the best they're ever going to be, the nicest they're ever going to be. What you see now is the best you're going to get, because after it's said and done, they don't need you anymore. We need them to get the information or to do what we need them to do to move forward with items after we've closed, but they don't really see that they need us. And then they're going to give way more pushback.
Well, and that brings up moral hazard, right? Because once you have the loan that's granted, the money's out the door. Yeah. Have you ever tried going back to a seller and asking for an extra signature because you missed something? No. I'll admit it, I've done it multiple times. My team loves it when that happens. And probably 8 out of 10 times, I get a middle finger from the seller. You're done.
Like specifically. So, specifically he gets it now.
But it's done. They got their money. They're not going to sign anything else. They don't care that you missed a signature on something. Too bad, so sad.
Well, and even when we have them sign the form, right, at the closing table, we try to cover our bottoms and have them sign that we
Yep.
can go back to them and get these signatures, but have fun finding them.
Correct.
They're busy, right? It's like, I'm running my business. I don't have time to do that. And I was like, well, you kind of do. You kind of better
Finding
make
them's
it,
hard.
right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's always a big one too. So
Have you ever found the secret seller note after closing?
No, never.
Yeah.
Is my nose growing? Is my nose growing?
Yeah.
Wait. The Pinocchio?
Yeah,
No.
it was,
Yes, of course.
that's something totally different. Don't worry about that. Oh,
Yeah.
that happens. And then, you know what? This has happened a couple times in my last just couple of years here. Is issues after closing with the seller and the buyer, that there's a war that happens between them, or they, you say you're going to get 3 weeks worth of training or whatever the case. And they're like, no, I'm good. I got my money. I'm gone. Like, you don't know how to run this business. Too bad. I mean, it's absurd.
I love a seller note. Now I want to know about it, right?
I do too.
But I do
100%.
love a seller note because of that exact reason. And that's what I tell people all the time, man. Once you close, that seller has absolutely no reason to continue moving forward with you. Now, if there's a seller note, they do, because they still have money on the line that they want you to get, so that they're more willing to actually work with you and whatnot. So I'm a big old proponent for seller notes. Now, I don't want to find out about it after.
That's the issue.
I don't want to find out about anything after. I don't want to find out that you've done construction on that property before we've closed, because then we've got the issue of the potential mechanics thing. I don't want to find out that you've borrowed from somebody or taken a HELOC and not let us know, but you don't have outside income, or any of the fun things that people like to do. Like, what was that? I just sent one elsewhere because, we unfortunately could not do it. And the person I sent it to came back and said, yeah, they've done all these things that make them look. Now, it might not be true, but make them look like they're doing something a bit fishy, right? Yeah. So anyway, to all of you borrowers, and lenders out there, I mean, we've got to look up front as to what they're doing. But yeah, the first thing that is going to make me have a red flag is if somebody comes after the fact or right before close. They've got the seller note. They've got a loan they haven't told us about. They've done things that we've told them specifically not to. Yeah, if I can get out closing, I might, because it might make me feel like there's going to be a problem down the road.
How about the glorious seller note? Or I'm sorry, the gift letter? You get the gift, it's a gift, and then all of a sudden you start seeing payments. That happens all the time.
All the time. All that. And really, what is there that we can do about it after the fact, which is true?
Simple, or I don't know. Zero and But and they signed the gift letter that says, I don't expect prepayment. So you lied to the federal government. So hey, good luck with that in your future endeavors.
Well, and how's that going to, I mean, that shouldn't come back on us because we've done our due diligence. Let's hope, right? To get out there. That shouldn't come back on us. But my goodness, that happens more than,
agreed.
More than I kind of would like to admit to that I've seen out there. But what else do we have out here? Oh, wait, let's see. Ray, Drew, bad buyer fit. OMG. Now that's a biggie. You see, that was like what you just brought up, right? With Bill Gates. That's a bad buyer fit.
It's just, it's nothing against the person. Yeah. They're just, they're special is somewhere else, but it's, you have to put that together. I had a recent one that came through my desk that was a massage therapist wanting to buy an acupuncture clinic. Okay. Interesting. So where's the acupuncture? Where's the acupuncture person? Oh, well, he's the seller. He's retiring.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Right. There's a lot of story there. So again, it's just not a right fit. It's just, you're trying to do that. So,
Well, that'd be somebody that doesn't know anything about construction. They're going to buy a construction company, and then that's going to start getting into all different can of worms that many people don't realize, which is the key man. Know what your specialty is, know what your skills are, look for the business that is the skill set that you already have or transferable ones that you've in some way, shape, or other been in, that's going to be the best bet for you to have a good experience with whatever business it is that you purchase and buy. So, yeah.
That was a fun
Yeah.
conversation. And
I
we'll continue
know.
to do those types of things on these types of days. So
Oh, we do. We like, wait. Really? You mean there is no perfect SBA loan, says Samuel Aguirre. Huh.
I
No.
mean, everyone that I do, it's perfect. It goes perfectly smooth. There's no complaints. Nothing. I don't understand.
Well, let me tell you something, Paul. If that were the case, I would not have a job. And
It's true. We would be replaced with AI.
The industry would be gone, right? Because that is the reason we're
Correct.
here. There are always things, and every single deal is different. We're just looking to try to find the best that we can. So, anyway, guys, it was great having the conversation today. We've totally enjoyed it, as we always do. Don't forget to smash, as we like to say, the like at the bottom of the comments, because we'd love to have you follow us and whatnot. If you've got any questions for Paul or I, please reach out to us, because we would love to answer the questions and or any topics you'd like us to discuss, because we're coming up with stuff every week, right? We'd love to bring something that's relevant to you that you would like us to chat about. If you are in Washington, Idaho, and Oregon, then you're going to reach out to Paul there at Visa Credit Union for any kind of helps that you've got on loans, questions on loans, anything coming down the line, and he can help you there. If you're in Colorado, Texas, Missouri, Florida, Arizona, North Carolina, Tennessee, I don't know where the heck else, right? Go ahead and reach out to myself, Tonya Mazurek at Midwest Regional Bank. Would love to help you. And don't forget to go check out our other family of podcasts, the BDO Show and Art of SBA Lending. So, yeah, we'd love to chat with you next week. See you then.
See you guys later.